So how old is Cogent Properties Limited?
So Cogent was founded in September 2022
as
the development arm of what I decided to make this place into. So before then, we were handling projects on behalf of clients. I would bring together an architect, a structural engineer, a mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, the builder. We all work together as a team, me being team leader, and we execute building projects. So, but after a while, we realized that, see, clients are not the way we want them to be. So the best way to move forward is us becoming the client. When we develop a good product, then we'll sell it to those that value it, which is one of the reasons why people ask me why my products are quite expensive. The truth of the matter is not for everybody. We, as Cogent, we've never ever had clients buy from us that this is their first buy. It's usually them buying outside and see what outside gives them. Then they are looking to pay that extra amount for the peace of mind, which is what we at Cogent provide.
So Jamie Court, is it the first major project that?
Under the umbrella of Cogent Properties, yes. But before that, under our former company that we're using to project manage, we developed 2 projects. So those 2 projects, one was a 9 units of 2-bedroom, another one was, I think, 8 units of 2-bedroom apartment. So those were what we developed before. Then we realized that, okay. Another thing about that was when we developed those ones, we did not go to the open market. We usually went to those same clients that, see, we want to sell a development. So the very first project we sold, it was one buyer that bought everything.
Wow.
We were selling at 25 million each, I think. And it was like, see, I'll give you guys 23 per head.
He took everything.
And he took everything. And he said, this front side, merge these 3 apartments together and turn it to my house. So we revamped the place and we gave it to him. The next one, somebody bought the first floor, somebody bought the second floor, somebody bought the ground floor.
Wow.
So, but those clients are still headache clients, so to speak. If they watch me, please, I'm sorry. They impress so much on the procedure. Yes, we're able to deliver products we're proud of, no doubt. But they still had too much control in that we're working for them. Those projects were not quite profitable for the amount of professionals involved in the project. And we couldn't continue like that. We needed to deliver a project that was both good and profitable at the same time because we all have bills.
Absolutely.
So that was how we became Cogent Properties. We didn't even know the name we wanted to use. So we were now brainstorming. We're like, what actually is a word that solves or that answers what we stand for? And a cogent, it was an argument. So we're now like, a cogent argument is an argument that the facts are laid bare and everything is, you know, on the table and everything is well figured out. So we're now like, okay, this is the name that most likely represents us. So that's how the name Cogent Properties came about.
How long did it take you to develop Jamie Court?
We started officially in, I think, April 2023. We did our piling till like August. So officially we started around August, September 2023. Then the project ran, we're at practical completion around September 2024.
Wow.
But the flooring and every other thing, because we had issues with thieves. Somebody stole the wire that was powering this entire block that we are in.
Wow.
So we had to go back, do some corrections. There were a lot of theft, basically. So that delayed our project by a bit. Then there were some importations of the items we bought too that caused some delays because of issues at the port and things like that. But finished handover was November 2024.
And you sold off plan?
Yes.
And it was fully sold out by the time you were?
As at the time we gave the person the last key, there was no apartment again.
Wow.
So as at the point we were completing and people could see that this was what was coming from it, we were now proud enough to sell it at the price we wanted to sell it at.
You wanted to sell it. We were talking about theft. What were the other construction challenges?
There are a lot. We'll start with regulatory delays. That is not, I would not particularly blame the government, not because I'm afraid of the government, but I understand, I empathize with their challenges as well. There are too many developments coming up. at the same time. So it's not easy for them to be able to spread themselves to get us approvals on time. For example, the time between our slab casting and our concrete and our column casting straight after, which is the pillars that will carry the next floor, usually takes us about 2 weeks. So imagine calling the government on Monday and needing to call them next week Monday or 2 weeks Monday. So they have a lot of people they attend to, and they have so many people they attend to in the day. So yes, but at the flip side as well, we all paid separately for supervision. So I don't know how the civil service works, so I'm not in any position to tell them how they run their business. However, there were delays from regulators in that regard. Secondly there were a lot of strikes, especially coming from sand. We get our sand from outside Lagos, sometimes from Ibeshi.
Wow.
So anytime there is a price review, they strike first, allow people to get frustrated and be like, okay, we'll take the sand at whatever price you bring.
Ibeshi has laterite leading sand.
I don't think so. The sand we get, I don't know the place, but
Dangote has cement.
Yes, our vendors say they buy from Ibeshi. I've personally not been there before. So it's 2 places, it's either from Ibeshi or from Mowe. So I don't know where they get the sand from, but the sand gets to us and they tell us it's from Ibeshi. So by the color, we usually know where it comes from. There is a particular one we like buying, which is gold sand. They say it comes from Ibeshi. Even right now, there is an issue of scarcity of sand, where majority of the sand is claimed to be going to the coastal road, which is causing scarcity for us developers that are not developing coastal road. So there is that issue as well. There is also, once in a while, one of our big boys in the cement manufacturing say they want to service their plant, or they want to do some, what's the word? Maintenance work. So sometimes we have delays like that. And during that time, there was a lot of price increments. Dollar went from 700 to 1,800. So a lot of challenges were there. But as we promised our clients, we had to deliver. Yes, it affected our profit bottom line, but delivery was what was most important to us.
So have you had, after delivery, concerns from buyers, and how do you manage that? I'm sure there are always those teething problems. Oh, this is not functioning, that's not, how do you manage all of that? Okay,
so once we deliver, we discuss with our clients or our subscribers that, see, nobody is perfect. We've done the best of our ability, but go around and let us know what you see. At the same time, we too employ our people, but it's not easy for the person that does the work to check the work sometimes. True. So sometimes we have them bring their own inspectors, or them go around and they see what the issues are. Some don't become prevalent immediately. Like I mentioned to you off camera, we had an issue with our spray tap that people use for the toilet. Yeah, for the toilets. All of them were bad. Wow. So it was a vendor issue. We are planning to change them, and we've discussed, because we didn't buy them in Nigeria. It takes time to get it from China down to Nigeria to use them. So definitely we are changing those ones as well. We had an issue with the roof leakage, which came about from solar panel installation. That the guy did not do a good job. So we've been able to fix that as well. So we've not had any major issue, but we've been finding minutiae of issues to fix. Did you, when you finish construction, you handed over to a management company, or what did you do? So we have a sister company that is into property management. They are the ones that are handling the facility. But at the same time, my own staff, our own staff, Cogent Properties as well, is presently on site 9 to 5. Wow. To make sure that if there's an issue that comes up, if it is a facility issue, we fix it. For example, somebody sat down on a toilet, and when they were standing up, the story they told me was not clear, but basically they broke off the toilet seat. Wow. And it was clear that it was vandalism. It was not default. It was not a default. Definitely we were not ready to fix that, but facility would handle getting the vendor to come and look at it and quote for whoever was there, because it was a tenant that was occupying that space at that time. So definitely that had to be changed, but it was not changed by us. However, the spray that was bad, we had to change it. A door is creaking, maybe while opening and closing. We go and look at the hinge and find out what is wrong. A key might not be working properly. We fix that as well. So things like that, minor issues, because we are working at scale. For example, this project has a total of 50 toilets.
Okay.
Definitely, if one is bad, that's 2% that was bad. We're expecting a 3 to 10% issue on everything, and we are ready to fix that as well.
So you have a scientific assessment of what you expect to go wrong. You have it provided for. You have it, and like you mentioned that you have a 1-year warranty.
Yes, a 1-year warranty, no questions asked in whatever goes wrong during the delivery of the space.
That's interesting. 1-year warranty.
Yeah.
So
the 1-year warranty is, no, I'll say a 1-year guarantee.
Okay.
Because a guarantee is stronger than a warranty.
Warranty.
So that guarantee means that anything we cover and we fix. The warranty stretches more than that. We don't expect that if there is a structural issue, after a year, we will now say it doesn't concern us. No. A structural warranty of at least 30 years is on every project we deliver.
Wow.
That's how sure we are. On leakage, we give a guarantee of, I think, about 10 years, because we don't expect the roofing sheet to go bad. We don't expect the felt or whatever waterproofing we applied on the roof to go bad. However, at the same time, we cannot give a forever guarantee, because even the manufacturers of those waterproofing materials, they did not give us forever warranty. And it's hard to go back to somebody that the thing you sold to me in 2015 is now leaking. It's not easy. However, whatever goes wrong at that time, if we are still the ones managing the facility, we discuss it and we fix it. If not,
there's even a provision that covers construction that is called fair wear and tear.
Exactly.
So fair wear and tear accommodates the fact that things will deteriorate
after a while.
After a while, and at that point, it ceases to be the liability of the provider.
Yeah.
Because it's a function of usage and lifespan.
Exactly.
So that is,
for example, your tile wearing out. You know, after working on tiles for years, definitely it will start turning white or brown or whatever base color was under it as well.
Okay. So I cannot, you know, I cannot talk property, I cannot talk title.
Definitely.
So let's talk about the title. What kind of title does Jamie Court have?
Jamie Court has a land certificate originally.
Because of the location?
Yes. So it is part of Old Lagos.
Yes.
It has a land certificate, and we got a governor's consent on top of it. Because definitely it didn't make sense to do the C of O route.
No.
So we got a governor's consent. Yes.
Because the land certificate will have reflected years of the allocation. So you have a governor's consent.
So the land certificate was gotten in just the year before Obasanjo made the Land Use Act.
Can you imagine?
So it was gotten in 77, I think.
Wow.
So definitely it is totally covered legally in the eyes of the government.
In the eyes of the government. And so your purchasers, what did they get from you?
They got a deed of sublease.
Okay. Yeah. Deed of sublease. And that was basically just a deed of sublease.
I would have to confirm with the legal
team.
Yeah, but whatever we gave them was enough to secure. Yeah, they got a survey as well. Okay. They got a deed of sublease, they got a survey, and they got a copy of the consent as well. I don't think we are going the route of getting a consent on their consent as well. No,
that's their business, really. But once you've given them a copy of the consent, whoever is going to work on consent for them would know what to do. Okay, that's interesting. I like the fact that, you know, because part of the accusations I get are that you pull down everybody, you drag everybody, you will see who you would commend. And somebody had come into my DM to come and say, are you saying that a company that is not 10 years and is not 25 years is not credible? I like the fact that I didn't even know that Jamie Court, I didn't even know that Kojang Properties was less than 5 years. So I like the fact that, okay, this is one, you know, construction company that started in the heat of Nigeria's madness, you know, and they're delivering value, which goes to show that in the midst of it all, at all, there are still people that will take the time, invest the resources to deliver value. However, value will come at a cost.
Definitely.
One more question. Why did you choose not to do the island?
First off, I like to work within a space with the least amount of variables. Okay. I live on the mainland. Okay. I understand the mainland. A lot of my projects that I worked on is on the mainland. Okay. A few at Ajah, a few at Ogombo. Just one project, I think, in Lagos Island. Okay. So definitely, I'm very much familiar with Lagos Island, and I didn't want too many variables. Okay. At the same time, it is, how would I put it? conquer your space before you
Absolutely.
move elsewhere.
Absolutely.
So I feel
Wow.
like there is a lot. The demand I see on the mainland is more real than anywhere else. I would go as far as saying our demand is much more functional than, what's the word? I'm looking for a word for it. Than just mere, this person is saying they want to stay here.
Aesthetics.
Do you understand? Surulere has 2 stadiums.
Yes.
Surulere is accessible to both the island and the mainland. Yaba, the same thing. And the funny thing is, when we listed Jemmy Court for rent, for the apartments that were available to rent, we got a minimum of about 40 applications.
Wow.
Begging to take the space. One even when, the day I came and I met a prospective tenant, I wore shorts and a shirt. So he probably did not assume that I was the developer of the project. He just called me once and he was like, he will give me 50K if I can put his name at the top of the list. Yes. So that is how desperate people were to what we were selling. And we're not selling at market prices. In fact,
you are talking of selling.
Not selling, sorry, renting. We're not renting at market price. Our rent price was definitely higher, but they saw what they saw and they wanted to stay here.
Wow.
You understand? We put a lot of thinking and a lot of effort into what we are doing. Nothing you see is by mistake.
People.
Yes.
For how many units?
Just 3. 3 units were the only ones we opened for rent.
And it's above market value?
It was above market.
And
same thing with our project before this one, the same thing. So once you deliver a good product, the people that value it will take it. I don't know how you can afford it. Although I'm not saying I'm taking illegal money. But my own headache is to deliver a good product. Your own headache is to be able to pay for it. So when people come and they say, why is your product not affordable? That is not my game. My game is not affordability. My game is comfort.
And
part of it, exactly. Part of it is the high ceilings we give. We don't like where spaces feel cramped. That is why we put a lot of effort into making sure that the space feels bigger, despite the fact that we are constrained by land size and cost and all that.
How many units do you have in Jemmy Court?
A total of 16 units.
16 units, all in one block, 2 blocks?
No, anyway, 2 blocks. It's 8 units per block.
Per block. How many bedrooms?
2 bedrooms all.
All are 2 bedrooms?
Yes.
So those are your prices. I think, did you send it to me? I saw it somewhere. 2 bedrooms?
Yes, 2 bedrooms.
Wow.
We started at 50. We started officially selling at 50. Nobody bought at 50. We raised our prices to 55. Then somebody bought. We didn't raise the price arbitrarily. We raised the price because things started getting more expensive. And we definitely didn't want to sell at the price we couldn't deliver for. So definitely when we went to 55, we had buyers. But our last 2 units were sold at 110.
110?
Yes, because when we started, dollar was 700.
By the time you were done?
Dollar was 17.
And when were those sales closed? The last 2 sales, do you remember?
The last 2 sales were closed a month before handover. That
was October 2024?
Yes.
Okay. So it's actually a bit on the high side, but then it's not out of range.
The thing I usually say is that my projects are not expensive, they are costly. I'll give you an example. When we're working on our slab, we decided we wanted to waterproof it.
Oh.
So anybody because it is a condominium, it is shared ownership. We do not want to hear any issue like that guy left his tap on, the water seeped into my flat. You understand? That can dissuade a lot of potential buyers from buying whatever you're selling. So we made sure that if you are a nuisance, be a nuisance in your space. You understand? Worst case, the water flows through your door to your balcony.
Downstairs.
Through the floor drain into the gutter.
Okay.
So you don't have to stress anybody else. So those things that come at an extra cost. When we're working on our walls, they told us that they told us yes, because we spoke to one of these screening manufacturers. Okay. But before that, we're having an issue that we didn't want to happen here again. When we mix this concoction that we use of cement, POP cement, top bond, and all these things together, and we used to screed the wall. We usually find out that once it rains, the walls start swelling. And they usually have, after 2 to 5 years, the whole place looks terrible.
Wow.
For a while, we never used to spray it outside. We just used our rough textured paint to paint the outside. But that only worked on traditional looking buildings, which is what we used to build before with hipped roof. But when the advent of solar panels came, we needed to change direction on how we attack that. First off, the traditional roof design was more expensive. Things had gotten more expensive. We needed to use our design to reduce our costs without compromising quality. So we changed the design from a hip roof to a pseudo flat roof. That allowed us to install as many panels as we wanted.
Please wait. Let me ask my next question before I forget it. How long have you actually been doing this? I want to go to your qualification, but you see, because I'm a field person, I know that practice and procedure are different. So, and I can see practice here, not just textbook. So that's why I want to know how long you've been doing this.
I finished quant surveying in Unilag 11 years ago.
Okay, you did quantity surveying.
Yes.
I see. I see.
But one thing I've been good at for a while is being able to assemble a team, especially of my peers, to be able to attack problems head on. So that is how we're able to get to where we are. I don't do structural design. I don't do architectural design, but I manage the people that do.
Okay, and you manage the project.
And I manage the project.
It also looks to me like you like what you do.
I do.
You are like me. So you literally get your hands dirty. You are in the you are in the space. You are there with them, and there's a flare. There's an angle to do anything successful in Nigeria. There's an angle that liking what you do brings in, because I mean, going to the toilet in Nigeria can be complex by itself. There's nothing that's not complex in this country. So if you bring the flair of liking what you do, it gives you an extra drive to keep going and to do it well. Not just doing it to pay the bills, but to actually do it well, because there's an air satisfaction you get by yourself by doing a good job. Okay, let's talk briefly about the next thing you're working on. What's the next thing that Kojang Properties is working on?
We have a new project in Yaba, and it's called Bilam Heights.
Okay.
It's much taller than this one. That's why we put the name Heights. In that is a 6-story, 2 blocks, 2-bedroom apartments condominium complex, designed majorly for investors.
I see.
In order for them to reap the rewards of both short-let rents and yearly rent.
I see.
Yes. So it comes with an elevator, comes with a gym. I know those things don't sound extra, but everything we put in our projects is for a purpose. For example, somebody asked that why don't you have a swimming pool there? And I mentioned, you can't squeeze a swimming pool into where a swimming pool does not belong.
Exactly.
And from the little data I've done amongst, because I'm in the construction industry, I have access to facility managers, property managers, engineers, and all that. We realize one thing. 1 year post-construction of a project that has a swimming pool, the pool is empty.
Wow.
People want swimming pool just for the word swimming pool. They jump inside 1, 2, 3 times. Law of diminishing returns comes in, and they don't
never go there again.
Majorly because a lot of people don't realize that to run a swimming pool, your pump must be on 24/7.
Wow.
You can't have stagnant water.
No.
If you do, you either breed bacteria or you breed mosquitoes. So the water always has to be running. And with the current cost of things, especially in places where we build, because the point of building in the places we build is because land has become scarce and expensive. And NEPA also knows this, meaning that those places are usually come with the highest cost of electricity. True. Imagine leaving a pump on for 24 hours a day. And at the end of the day, you're having costs that nobody wants to pay on service charge. So in order for you not to have the service charge issue, just stay away from swimming pools. The best you can do is have a hot tub. You guys come, chill. When you are done, you leave it. Because nobody ever... Nigerians are not a swimming people. You understand? So, and if at all, Yaba is close to Unilag. There's a pool there. Yaba is close to 2 stadiums. There are pools there. Yaba is close to hotels where there are private pools there. And those ones are actually designed for safety. Another issue, again, around pools is that for you to do a standard pool, it takes the space of almost a plot of land.
Yes, standard.
Some people decide to put it in their basement. Some people put it in their basement, or sorry, in their ground level, taking away from some of the parking. Or some people put it in the roof.
Okay.
The disadvantage of putting it in the roof is the amount of extra cost you have
Absolutely.
on the building in order to carry the pool at that level. Another issue is safety.
Yeah.
You should consider that it is not only adults of sane-mindedness that can swim that will use the pool. That will mean that you have to have a pool guard at all times. That's extra cost on your head as a facility. So you always have to make sure that somebody is watching for drowning, somebody is watching for people that, and a lot of standardization goes into pool design, pool construction and all that, and we don't see that in Nigeria. If I go through 50 developments that are going on in Lagos with swimming pools, maybe only 3 will pass every check. You understand? A lot of the swimming pools we see are basically fish ponds or dead traps. So that's where the issue normally comes up. So that's just the truth. And I've been seeing the videos about, but the goal at the end of the day is to encourage people that use professionals on the one hand, but also there is a lot of money to make in real estate if it is done right. So I took it upon myself. Yes, there are a lot of bad actors in the industry. So instead of attacking the bad actors, let's attack the demand towards those bad actors. If investors are enlightened and they know what they are doing, they, by not, purchasing patronizing them, will put those people out of business, and you'll be able to
put them under pressure to deliver value.
Exactly. So that way, these things are done properly.
As a matter of fact, a lot of these properties that say they have elevators and gyms, the first thing that parks up is the gym.
Yes.
We see it all the time. The first thing that parks up is the gym. Then the elevator becomes epileptic.
Yes.
We see it all the time. And so it's not just about having, beautiful looking facilities and stuff in a project. But what's the longevity? What's the lifespan? What's the durability? Okay, so I was going to ask, if you are going to have a gym and an elevator, they are going to be powered.
Yes.
So you're going to have
backup power for them to make sure that... I went to a friend's house the other day and there was no light. And I had to climb to the 5th floor with my legs in order to reach his house at the 10th floor.
Wow.
They said the gen comes on at 6. That if I cannot come at 6, I'll have to climb the stairs. And I needed to see my friend at around 3:30 and then leave around 7. So definitely it didn't make sense for me to wait till 6 o'clock. And they were not willing to put on the gen just so I could get on the lift. So I had to climb the stairs. And that could easily be solved with a backup power.
Absolutely.
Which is something that we too are pushing for. Okay. As I mentioned before, everything we do is by design. Nothing is done by mistake. We are not the type of people that jump on trends because they are trending. We usually take our time to make sure we plan things properly.
Question for you: are you still interested, or would you still construct for private owners?
No.
You won't do that again?
Okay. I don't, yeah.
Because I imagine that I can run through my head and I have different pictures of people who have property and will want to develop, and they're probably not in the country, or they don't have the time, and they're just like, if somebody could just translate what is in my head to paper and put it in the
50% of people that want good houses don't want to pay for it. Unless you are referring to those 50% that are willing to understand that what is good, soup way sweet, na money killer. If not, a lot of us will just be going back and forth. I did a video the other day talking about the cost of 12 units of 2-bedroom apartments.
I think I saw it.
And more than 70% of the comments said I was lying.
Wow.
And the guys in the industry with me knew that this was the fact. The other day,
somebody, I think one, not James, took that
exactly,
and did another video on it
exactly.
to say that
we did a costing of 2-bedroom apartments, just the raft plus the carcass for 24 units of 2 bedrooms on a block. And we're arriving at 1.9 billion.
Wow.
Just carcass, no finishing, no piling. No windows, no doors, no tiles, nothing. And we're arriving at 1.9. And most people were still shocked. And I was like, look at the breakdown. The bill is just 48 pages. Go through every single line item and tell me where we are lying. If me, I'm telling you that a 2-bedroom at Bilham Heights is costing 165 million naira today, and you are telling me that what I'm charging is too much, then you probably will go and buy something else that would never be. Because the truth of the matter is that all of us have the same cost. So when somebody is cheaper, you need to find out why.
Why?
I'll give you an example. The land that Bilham Heights is sitting on is 2,400 square meters. In that space, we are putting 30 apartments. Okay. Whereas there's somebody I know that is also a developer, I'm not calling names, that is doing 2,000 square meters, and he has 66 units on it. Hey. Definitely, if you divide the land cost by the number of units, definitely his project will be cheaper, using every other thing as the same. It will be. But one person is building a medium density property, and one person is building a high density property.
One person is building barracks.
So you understand. So that is, you need to find out why this person is cheaper. If you are able to figure it out, a lot of people assume that.
For you.
Somebody, I posted that video I was talking about where I mentioned that it was 1.6 billion. Somebody even corrected me that my calculation was wrong, that based on what I said, it was 1.7.
Can you imagine?
So, and somebody now mentioned that I'm sure you're only using 600 million to build and your profit is 1 billion. And I'm like, if it was
to
that
build
sweet.
How many units?
12 units. And I'm like, if it was that sweet, you think I'll still be here? So these are the issues that we are having generally in the industry, where we have a lot of people that want houses but are not willing to pay for them. We have people that don't want to hear the truth because somebody somewhere is telling them that this is what it was.
And my concern for the large portion of that don't want to hear the truth is my Nigerians in diaspora. They are the large portion of people in that space. My problem now is, you know, I always say it in my videos that Nigeria, anything you want to buy at any price, you will find somebody to sell it.
Exactly.
So if they say this thing is 20 naira, I say, why? Is it not Nigeria? Because go find 5 naira own. Exactly. That's your guy that you are sending work. He will go and look for 5 naira own for you.
Exactly.
In fact, he will look for 3 naira 50 kobo own and tell the guy to write 5 naira and give him the 1 naira 50 kobo on top.
Exactly.
So by the time the whole thing blows over, you come and say Nigeria is a scam.
Exactly. Not knowing that you are the one out there hunting for scams.
Hunting for scams. And so when you find somebody who is ready to charge value, you now convert what the person wants to charge you to your pound or your dollar,
and you're like, it's too much.
Okay, now we go out there. They say
I'll give you another example. Scott Iguma did a video, or he has been doing a series of videos, which are basically divided into two. The ones where he's going after developers is doing well, but there's another part to it where he's claiming that real estate in Nigeria is overpriced. I did a video about it. It's going to be released soon. Okay. But the long and short of it is more expensive to build in Nigeria than to build in New York. New York developers get 5% rates. Nigerian developers get 40%.
Not even 27 again.
27 is only accessible by banks from the central bank. Us, we can't. Who will give you 27%? It's not possible. Nobody.
40%.
40-50%, yes.
That's mad.
That is what we get, and it doesn't end there. The cost of approvals. If you want to do a 5-bedroom bungalow in Nigeria or in Lagos, most places the government will charge you a minimum of 400 to 500,000 for approvals. Yeah. Whereas in New York it's $150.
Can you imagine that?
And if you're even using 2,000 per dollar, that's just 300,000. So it doesn't stop there. There are a lot of layers that come on top of it to make you realize that. And despite this, we have no say over the quality of the roads. We have no say over the flood level and all that. We don't.
You don't even have say over boys on the streets.
Exactly.
Over area boy, over onile,
and when
over
you
local community. You don't have say over all those things.
And when you say it is overpriced, that is still not fair. Because the most expensive property in Nigeria is $20 million. Whereas the most expensive property in the US is $295 million. Okay. So it is not even close. Now, if you look at a 4-bedroom apartment in New York, We are even talking like Flatiron District. We are not even talking about Billionaires Row. You are having costs around $30-40 million for an apartment. And that apartment is going to be, they'll call it 3,000 square feet. 3,000 square feet is just 300 square meters.
That's all.
Yes. But the average luxury apartment on Bodilon is a minimum of 600 square meters.
Yeah.
That is for 400.
Yeah.
There are even penthouses that go as far as 1,000 square meters.
Yes. Yes.
An apartment that big, and we are only charging $4 million. So if you are actually being fair in your comparison, you will see clearly that Nigeria's real estate is priced according to Nigeria. The only challenge now is that you used to compete with your fellow Nigerians. In fact, your fellow Lagosians then. Now you are competing with expatriates. You are competing with people coming in to set up their businesses in Nigeria. So once that is in competition, definitely those people are willing to pay much more than you.
True.
And for that reason, they will cost. And apart from that, the cost of construction is not funny. The cost of proper construction is not funny. I'll give you another example. If you want to buy steel, good quality steel, you have to hold 1.3 million per ton. But there's steel of 900,000. Now imagine that difference of 400,000. Yes. Now imagine that difference of 400,000 across 180 tons of steel. That is, I don't even think that would be enough for a high rise. Let's say 300 tons of steel. So 300 tons times 400,000.
Wow.
So you
That's
see.
a fortune.
So those, and that is just on steel. We are not talking about concrete mixture. A high rise or a good quality building will mix a minimum of C25 concrete. That's 7 bags of cement per cubic meter. But the guy that just wants to build something for you, he will mix 5 bags. So those 2 bags across, 2 bags is 21,000 now. Imagine it across 2,000 or 200 cubic meters of concrete.
At 7 bags.
At 7 bags. So you're already saving 20,000 times 200. That's already 4 million in savings. 4 million. So those savings are how they are able to cut down. Back. Because all of us have the same cost. So if you are actually doing what is right, my price should be close to your price. But if it's not, there is a problem. This is a simple inverter setup, nothing special with the solar. This tells us that we are on inverter power. This tells us that we are on NEPA power. There's no light. There are enough solar panels in the roof to carry what we are using here. And because we close at 5, if at all we stretch to 8. This is enough to carry us during that lag time.
So this backs up power? Yeah,
this backs up the power that comes from the solar. The solar is normally enough. Right now we are generating 3.8 kilowatts. If you check what we are using 1.78. So that
even
difference,
with the AC?
Yes. Wow. So that difference is what goes into the system, and we are okay. So that's the same type of style we want to adapt in Bilam Heights. This one, everybody that buys the space installs it, but that place it will come with it, and we are not putting it in the kitchen. We are going to put it outside your space. We installed this to make sure that in case there is an issue with this one will explode fire extinguishers into the space and kill out whatever fire, giving us enough time to get to bring our real fire extinguishers into the space.
So it means that even when you have to create something as an afterthought, you kind of put, there's a fan for it.
Yes, to make sure that it keeps it cool. Yes. So in the new space now, there will be an AC there that would cool all the inverters. Wow. Because, for example, so now
all of them will be centralized.
They'll be centralized. So we will now be cooling everything together, and power will then be distributed. However, because of we can't predict what the sun is going to be, there are some days that this, see now it has dropped to 2.6. Sometimes it will drop to 0 to 3 or 500, which will not be enough to carry the space. So in that type of scenario, if there is not enough backup, we have to fall to NEPA. If there's not a period of maybe, you know, in Nigeria, we usually have like 2, 3, 4 days of rain that it won't stop. In that period, it's NEPA. If there's no NEPA, you now go to generator as a last resort. But this one, 200 out of 365 days, you are guaranteed that you don't have any issues.
This pre-installed in Bilam Heights is already costed into the price?
Yes. And as you know, Solar installation is not cheap money.
No, it's not.
This is basically Jemicot for what it is.
Okay.
And we have block B and block A. Okay. We have a space of 6 meters in between to ensure ample movement of driveway for everybody.
Is it drive-through?
No. Okay. You come in, you park. So we have enough parking for each person, then we have spillover parking for visitors as well.
Okay.
Now we make sure that because of visibility issues, we also make sure that we paint our spaces so that anybody that is finding it difficult to see, they are able to see the contrast between the black and the yellow to make sure they are able to see properly. As well, we've imported our rubber guards that are going to be covering this place in case of minor hits against it. So instead of them hitting the columns, they'll be hitting the rubber and they'll be able to go away, because we've had minor issues where people have scraped off the paint. Wow. So those are the things. Then definitely we have enough parking for each and every apartment. Our cantilevers are also designed in such a manner where they provide shade at the same time. So if it's raining, you can come from your car, you walk like this, hide under the shade, and you're able to get into the space. So definitely we also have, by our mechanical engineers design, having beep taps all over the place so that you can easily fetch water for whatever is required. You can wash your car, you can do all that. Okay. As you can see, we have our 2-bedroom apartments on this side, all the way on each level, and 2-bedroom apartments on this side as well. Yes. The choice of the color came about from the architects. I see. White design is all over Lekki. Yes. All over the island. Yes. But one thing that is not popular on the mainland is white buildings. Actually, so in order to get our building that landmark position we wanted to give it, we decided to go with the white color. So we now contrasted with the dark gray color in order to, bring more life to it. Our headroom as well in our parking is by design. It has a space of about 3.9 meters. Because if it is too low, it gets dark. Yes, it does. So raising it up makes sure light comes in from the side as well to illuminate the space. And then so the that the place, helps with the illumination. Yes. So as I mentioned before, everything is a design decision. Nothing is by mistake. Everything is by design. We have our CCTV cameras, which is compulsory these days. You have to make sure that everything is recorded. So you have a security room? Yes. We have a facility room where all the cameras are linked to. So the facility manager has access to it at all times. And at the same time, there's a second feed to the security personnel as well to be able to see what is going on. Because facility manager's work is from 9 to 5, but the security are there 24/7. So this is the space. So this is a 2-bedroom maisonette. So it's not all of them that are apartments. So this is a 2-bedroom maisonette. This is the living area. That is the way to the kitchen. And as I mentioned, this is a dining area as well. This space is about 34 square meters. So for that reason, we have 2 air conditioners. This is a 2 horsepower air conditioner, and this is a 1 horsepower. Wow. So this one is to power the space, and this one is just in case there are so many people. And this one can make sure that it's cool enough. And this is the visitor. Your facilities all come with the ACs and all? No, we don't install the ACs. We just run the piping. So this one, as you can see, if it were a normal building, the AC will be backed against the window. Okay. So we have piped it away from the window so that the interior designers can do floor to ceiling curtains. Wow. So this is moved away from it, and that one too is moved away. So now we have the visitors toilet here, and we have the second exit, because we always want to make sure that in case of any issue, you're able to escape. Out door. So then this is the kitchen, and this is where the inverter installation is. This person has 2 batteries to make sure that this is totally covered no matter what. 2 batteries? Yes. So this is a total of 30. Living quarters anyway. Yes. So of course we have the fire extinguisher as well. This is the kitchen. So as mentioned before, this is that's the water pressure. Yeah. The water pressure, the water color. Yeah. So water heater usually reduces the pressure of the water as well. Oh, really? So if not, it should have been higher. Yeah, because it comes in from the heat. Yes. So, but definitely it's much more than enough. Yeah. So this was set up. We ran the washing machine piping. We did all the cabinetry as well. This place is an extra space that you can use as your studio. Or your home office. Yeah, your home office basically. Nice. So this person has not taken advantage of it. So definitely we had an interior designer take advantage of the stay area as low budget as possible. So this is room 1 and room 2.
Okay.
So this is room 1, which is the bigger room. This space is around 16 square meters. This is the ensuite toilet.
Okay.
So this is a smaller room. Yes, this room is 11 square meters. Okay. It has its ensuite toilet as well.
Okay. Okay.
So on the outside, we have our gen house that you can see from outside, vents to the outside. This is our waste management. So Loma comes here, they open this place up and they just carry the waste. So this is the gen house for block A, this is the gen house for block B.
Oh, separate?
Yes, Eco Electric has their meter here. They come and check because when you buy a transformer, you must have your own postpaid meter.
You bought your own transformer for your company?
Yes. So we bought our own transformer. This is a 200 kVA transformer that carries the entire space. Yes.
Wow.
So this is our transformer. This is our meter.
200 kVA transformer.
Yes. So it's a boundary road between Mushi and Surulere.